Hi, Namaste to one and all. It's Professor Venkatama Beer, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Aid College, Gudivande. I welcome you all to this Learning Management System, a digital learning initiative by the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka. Dear friends, in this session, we will learn a poem of William Wordsworth titled as To the Cuckoo, which is prescribed for the BCom program for the language English subject for the third semester of Bangalore North University. Dear friends, at the outset, let us know the contents of this session. This session consists of lesson overview and objectives and session outcomes and brainstorming, testing the previous knowledge about the poem, announcement of the aim of teaching the poem, introducing the poet and also introducing the poem, and some of the multiple choice questions and sources and references. The objectives of the lesson are to enable students to explain the poem prescribed, to identify the themes of the poem, to analyze its form and structure, to explain the poetic devices used, and also to develop the aesthetic sense and to appreciate the beauty of the poem prescribed. At the end of this session, I am sure the students will be able to explain and analyze the poem critically and estimate the poem. At the outset, let us have some questions as a part of brainstorming. Dear students, can you name a few birds children usually love? Which bird song do you listen to? Please list your reactions to the bird song or different sounds of nature as a child, as a grown up. Let me ask you some questions as a part of testing the previous knowledge about the poem. I'm sure you are able to answer the questions very easily. You have to just say true or false for the questions that I ask you. The first question, let me ask you. When the spring begins, a feathered creature named as Cuckoo begins singing in the most cheering way. Do you agree with me? If so, tell me it's true. Yeah, sure, you will answer it. Second question is, Wordsworth calls Cuckoo a blessed bird. About this, I am sure. Third question, let me say, the poem To the Cuckoo is a lyrical ballad. Yeah, same thing. Do you agree with this one? If you agree, please tell me it's true, or else you can say just it's a false. Oh yeah, you have plenty of answers to tell me. Though I can't hear your words, I can say that compare your response with the peer learners and refer to the textbook and check your answer. After all these things, I'm sure I have to announce you the topic of today's discussion. The announcement of the aim is this session is to understand William Wordsworth's poem To the Cuckoo as to develop the aesthetic sense, to turn the emotions, feelings, and encourage the spirit of the imagination. Well, let us know William Wordsworth. I have asked plenty of questions regarding the poem and the poet and even the birds. Now, let us know a few things about William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was born in England on 7th April 1770 at Cockersmouth in Cumberland. He was a notable poet for the establishment of the Romantic movement in the 18th century. He stands as nature's supreme poet. His works include lyrical ballads, the prelude, an evening walk, and descriptive sketches, and William and Mary Wordsworth love letters. William Wordsworth is a great priest, a great admirer, and a sincere lover of nature. His love for the nature was pure and more delicate. He believed that nature is a real educator for man. His attitude towards nature continued changing throughout his life. Now let's come to the introduction to the poem, To the Cuckoo. To the Cuckoo is a notable pastoral poem comprises 8 quatrains with elaborate stanza-like formations. It's a tribute to the cuckoo, a record of the poet's state of mind at the time of hearing the bird's song. The poet is respecting the spring in the most exquisite way. When the spring begins, the cuckoo begins singing in the most cheering way. William Wordsworth, in the poem, says that he hears the cuckoo in amazement. He wonders if It is more than merely a bird. The poet's marvel takes him to the memory of his childhood days, when the cuckoo opens up the universe of imaginative vitality to him. The cuckoo is a masterminded picture of innocence, mirth, virtue, and boyhood. The poet expresses his adoration, commitment, and longing to outwardly witness the cuckoo. At the end of this session, let us remember what are the things we have learned in this session. The first thing that we learned is William Wordsworth, a notable poet for the establishment of romantic movement in English literature in the 18th century. His works include lyrical ballads, The Prelude, An Evening Walk, and descriptive sketches, and William and Mary Wordsworth love letters. William Wordsworth is a great priest, a great admirer, and a sincere lover of nature. To the Cuckoo is a poem which is called a notable pastoral poem, which comprises of 8 quatrains with elaborate stanzaic formations. This poem is a record of poet's state of mind at the time of hearing the bird song. The Cuckoo is a masterminded picture of the innocence, mirth, virtue, and boyhood. The poet communicates his adoration, commitment, and longing towards the bird cuckoo. Dear students, after all these things, I am sure you have understood something about the poet and even the poem. Now let me ask you some questions. I am sure you are able to answer those multiple choice questions. The first question I will ask you, William Wordsworth is known as, the 4 alternatives are given: the priest of the church, the poet of beauty, the priest of nature, the poet of sonnets. Yeah, you're sure that C, the priest of nature, is correct answer. Now to the second question. The poem To the Cuckoo comprises dash with elaborate stanza formations. There are about 4 alternatives. The first alternative is 8 stanzas, B is 4 stanzas, C is 6 stanzas, D is 5 stanzas. Yeah, you're sure the first one, 8 stanzas, is correct answer. Thus, the poem To the Cuckoo comprises of 8 stanzas with elaborate stanza-like formations. Yeah, now let's move on to the third question. This third multiple choice question reads as, when the spring begins, the cuckoo begins singing in the most cheering way. Yeah, there are 4 alternatives again: agree, disagree, strongly disagree. These 4 are given. The correct answer is C, which is said to be when the spring begins, cuckoo begins singing in the most cheering way, is the one which I say strongly agreeable answer. Now the fourth question is, the poet hears the cuckoo in amazement, wonders if it is more than merely dash. The 4 alternatives given are golden hours, B, woods and green, C, a bird, D, none of the above. Yeah, the correct answer is C. Thus, the poet hears the cuckoo in amazement, wonders if it is more than merely a bird. That is the correct answer. The fifth and the last multiple choice question is, Wordsworth believed that nature is the real educator for 4 alternatives are given: A, golden hours, B, a bird, C, a man, D, visionary hours. Yeah, you're right. The C is the correct answer. That reads as, Wordsworth believed that nature is the real educator for a man. Yeah, you answered all the questions. It means that you understood the entire lesson. Yeah, I appreciate you for your patience listening. I will have something to say to you. For details about this lesson, you can refer lot of books and even lot of maybe sources. Let me give you the sources and maybe references for this. Dear friends, at the end of this session, let us know the sources and references which are required to enhance your knowledge. Let me give the first citation, that's about Polygriff, Francis Turner, AD, The Golden Treasury, New Delhi, Rupa Publications, Private Limited, 2001. And the textbook which is prescribed for you for the BCom 3rd semester students of Bangalore North University, that's called Perception 3, General English Course Book and Comprehension, 3rd sem BCom BBA, Prasaranga, Bangalore University, Bangalore. Dear student, thank you for patience watching of this video. Now we can meet in the next session. Thank you very much. Bye. Take care.